Hello everyone, welcome to the Anime Recap Media YouTube channel. Please like the video, subscribe to help our channel and enjoy this full video.
The world is divided between beasts and humans. Long ago the animals used to devour humans, but after a 100-year blood-shedding war, beasts established their kingdom and made a treaty with the humans. They need to send a person before the sacrificial night. The king will eat them and all is right in the world again. The short end of the stick this year was chosen by Sari, a cute, scrawny girl. Bound by chains, she enters the king's palace. Here we also meet the king's advisor, Anubis, who is displeased by how skinny is the sacrificial girl, and tells the king to tear her apart and ask for a new human to be sent. Unlike any normal human who would get scared at the sight of a talking lion-looking beast, she makes random comments. Not knowing his name, she addresses Anubis as Mr. Dog, and will also call him that, especially since he takes so much offense by it. The king tells Mr. Dog to leave, and after he tries to talk back, the king roars, reminding him to obey. Sari is still unfazed, scolding the king to be too short-tempered and saying he will one day be alone if he continues with this behavior. The two ball-shaped guards, Sai and Klops, immediately admonish her, saying the king is terrifying. How can she speak like that in his mighty presence? The king is curious about Sari, the way she does not tremble and wail at the sight of him, as the rest of the humans did before her. She says her name is Seraphi, Sari for short, and when asked for his name, the king says he doesn't have one. He informs she has one more day before the sacrifice, and because he's intrigued by her, he'll keep Sari by his side until then. She freely roams the palace, much to the dismay of the court people and animals, who try to remind humans through this sacrifice treaty that they are not equals. The lords tell Mr. Dog to advise the king to stop his game with the girl, since he could be seen as weak and make him vulnerable to the opposition, who still tries to rebel against the animal kingdom. His Majesty is not pleased that Sai and Klops allowed Sari to leave his chambers and scolds them. He advises her to stay by his side or she'll be eaten by the other beasts if she leaves his room. Sari takes this as a sign of care, but the king grabs her and pushes her on the bed, scolding her for her insolence. Despite his threatening demeanor, she is not afraid. She remembers when she learned her name means sacrifice in an ancient language in an old book. On a thunderstorm night, she found out she was taken in by her adoptive parents only as a sacrificial substitute for their daughter. At least Katniss volunteered as tribute. What really terrifies Sari is their cold stare. Compared to that, the king's eyes are gentle and his threats are nothing to her. She wonders if he forces himself to act angry. The next day, they venture through the land as part of the king's inspections, to keep the area free of rebels, trying to stop the bloodshed, saying he finds it unnecessary. Sari notes that it is tough to be a king, while Mr. Dog is displeased with His Majesty's choice to let Sari act independently. She finds a flower garden that is able to grow just because the miasma is sparse in this area. Sari thinks the king brought her here for this reason and decides to take some flowers back to the palace. But the beast struggles to comprehend why she cares for something that is destined to wilt away. Sari places a crown of flowers on his head and thinks he looks cute, but he takes it as an insult. He gently grabs Sari in his big lion arms and they return home since a thunderstorm is coming. When the lightning strikes, she is terrified. Although she is not afraid of beasts, the sound of thunder frightens her as she's reminded of her adoptive parents. He caringly muffles the sound with his big boy fluffy tail. She tells him he doesn't have to act tough around her and falls asleep on his lap. The night of the sacrifice arrives, accompanied by a full moon. Mr. Dog says this is a sacred event, but Sari is just happy that her gown looks like a wedding dress. She is taken to the basement where the king awaits. He does not show himself to anyone during this. Left alone, she is attacked by an animal who wants to take her place and secretly attack and kill the king. But a man appears and tries to protect her. As the beast tries a second attack, Sari pleads, praising His Majesty, pointing out he does his best to stop any unnecessary violence and sacrifices his own desires for the well-being of his people. Unbothered by her words, the beast lunges again, but the human manages to disarm him and makes him run away in fear. Sari assumes this man is the king, but he just points out to a hidden passage for her to escape. She is more worried about his wounds, and this convinces him to reveal that he is indeed the king. A half-human half-beast that hides in the shadows on the night of revelation, waiting for his human form to pass. He wonders how such a weakling can be a king. Sari cares for his wounds, and cleverly notes that the king is actually kind, allowing the sacrificial humans to escape and using his own blood to fool the court. The king breaks Sari's chains and hugs her tightly, and tells her that she is now his. The cat distribution system at work. The next day, Mr. Dog and the lords are in shock as the king announces that he will marry the human girl. They are displeased with the thought of the royal blood being diluted by a human. But the king's word is law, and Sai and Klops are actually thrilled with the news. Sari comes up with a name for the king, Leonheart, which means brave heart in the ancient language. He likes it and it becomes his new name. The guard captain arrives. Sari is informed that a royal council has been convened and she must also be present, at Mr. Dog's request. The captain tries to soothe Sari, saying he knows the counselor has a sharp tongue, but all he does it to defend His Majesty. He would do anything to protect the king's throne, even if that means going against His Majesty's will. Leonhardt is displeased with Mr. Dog's plan to bring Sari here, without being notified first. The counselor says that while the court cannot presume to test the future queen, presenting the people with a human, a former sacrifice as their future queen, would sow disorder in the realm. He advises that Lady Sari should make herself the most accomplished consort in the history. So he proposes a list of conditions. She must learn to command a holy beast, since having power over these divine messengers is a symbol of authority. Leonhardt becomes enraged, saying that since she has no magical powers, it will consume her life instead. And if mistakenly conjures a wicked demon, then it will claim her, since she lacks the power to resist, and she'll wander in hell for eternity, unable to even die. Mr. Dog is well aware of that, so he lets Lady Sari decide if she accepts the trials or not. The king is against it, reminding everyone that he chose his queen and does not need to entertain such base proposals from his council. He tells Sari that he will protect her and keep her safe. In the morning she signs the oath with blood, even though the king is not happy about it. The trial of summoning the holy beast begins swiftly, but she fails to cast the spell, not having sufficient energy. She feels exhausted, like the life has been sucked out of her. Sari does not give up, and after several failed attempts Leo stops her. He pleads with her to not force herself, saying he refuses to lose her. She returns to the summoning, but this time she succeeds. Only that the holy beast is a small chick. Still a success. He is rude and crude, but has the power of immortality and rebirth. He is Bennu the Great. He is the one and only phoenix. He was once a sacred bird with gold and scarlet plumage. Mr. Dog does not believe a word he says, but wants to know if the people will accept that yellow thing as the holy beast of their queen. Sari tries to comfort the phoenix, saying that even though she is a nobody, he still came to her and gave her confidence, so she sees him as a magnificent holy beast even though he cannot even fly right now. The next day an archer wants to kill Mr. Phoenix, but Sari jumps down to save him. He is deeply moved by her altruistic and also foolish sacrifice, and he saves her by transforming to his former golden self. Sari is taking classes from Mr. Dog on the history of the Beast Kingdom, but she cannot read their language. Her new friends, Sai and Klops, have translated some books in human writing. She says she wants to learn, but it's too much for her to take in all at once. On a break from her studies, she asks Leo to venture together outside the palace, desiring to see how normal beasts live. He is grouchy as always, and refuses, saying he will provide her with everything, but within the palace walls. Learning from Mr. Dog that the king does nothing but his royal duties, she wishes for him to take a break and do something fun. She pesters him until he gives in, but I think this grumpy cat secretly likes the idea. Only under one condition. They must wear a disguise and she won't cause trouble and be home before dark. Mr. Dog was sent away to a neighboring town and must return home before him, otherwise Leo will be forced to hear more of his griping. Sari giggles, saying that even the king is afraid of Mr. Dog's lecture. They walk among the citizens, who are pleasant and busy with their errands, and she enjoys the atmosphere very much. Sari notes it's not too different from a human town. At that moment, they find a kid that is lost from his mother and decide to look for her. Leo advises they should hurry before the night falls, and Sari almost faints while walking. Even in poor health condition, she comforts the crying kid, reassuring him they will find his mom. When they locate her, she is very thankful. The child is so excited and falls from the king's head, but Sari wants to protect him. At that moment, her cloak falls over and it is revealed that she is human. The mother goes from thankful to menacing, screaming to Sari to not touch her child. The crowd goes into an uproar and throws stones at her. The king growls with disappointment and using his magic powers, teleports away. Back at the palace, Sari asks for forgiveness, since she was careless, caused trouble and scared the townspeople. He apologizes, being the one that exposed her to danger while they were together. He is glad though, for having this day of rest with her, enjoying their time with all his heart. This sweet moment comes to an end when Sari faints. The land's miasma is the cause, since all humans are susceptible to it. If she spends more time in the kingdom, it will erode her vitality until she will die. She wakes up in a human house, where she is nursed back to health with ambrosia that will purify the miasma in her body. Her stay there has been paid generously, and Sari assumes it was done by the king. She slept for 3 long days, much to her surprise. The royal sealed letter confirms she was brought there by Leo, but since she cannot read it, she assumes she was left there, never to return in his arms again. Word goes around that she is from the village that just sent the sacrifice to the kingdom, and the whole town turns against her when they suspect she is the one that escaped from the beast realm. Even the doctor that was supposed to cure her banishes her, since he is worried that the king of beasts will come after her and hurt everybody that helped her. She leaves, heartbroken and abandoned again, with nowhere to go to. She feels her life is nothing without Leo. As she almost falls down a cliff, the king appears in his human form and saves her. Since the miasma is weak in this realm, his beast form and magical powers disappear. This made her tracking down a problem, since it took him a few days to find her. This is how she finds out that the letter said he will come back. Leo gives her a magic ring that has ambrosia which will purify the miasma in her body, making it safe for Sari to live next to him in the kingdom. He lovingly reassures her that she is his queen. Back at the palace, she asks if he knows what a ring on the left finger means in the human land. His cute wondering face says he has no idea, and Sari explains it is a token of promise to stay together forever.
How was the video? We hope it was good. If so, please check these videos. Also, please comment down your thoughts and your suggestions for future videos. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing now to show the support to our channel. We hope to see you soon with another video right in this channel. Have a nice day.